surround yourself with positivity during this time. It's really the best time to restructure not just yourself and your health and your life, but to really restructure your house. I've been definitely doing a little bit of redecorating and purging, and I feel like purging is kind of an ongoing thing. It's one of those things that you're always doing because you always accumulate more stuff, or sometimes you weren't ready to let go of something 6 months ago and now you are. So whether you're adding Majora's Mask to your wall, or maybe just, rearranging a bookshelf, or adding some knickknacks, creating some art maybe for your wall, whatever that looks like to you, just making sure that your environment is positive. So while you're stuck here, it's awesome. When you're not stuck here and you get to come home at the end of the day, make it a place that you enjoy coming home to.
Yeah. So what about the physical aspects of it? So people, again, like the people who can go outside right now, there's things they can do, especially if it's nicer weather, which is awesome. But what about the people listening who are more confined to their homes? What resources do you look for? Are there yoga channels that you look for, or other kind of exercises, just something to keep active, to keep fit, so you're not stuck just sitting somewhere?
Excellent question. Yeah, it definitely was a challenge to me because I always had that routine of going to the gym every morning. Even if it's just to run, I really liked the treadmill because I could watch my video and kind of stack those things so I could get my friends listening in for the day. So this morning, I live in a 2-story house, and I just did 50 flights up and down my stairs. I just ran up and down my stairs for 50 minutes and then did a little bit of strength training. So that was my cardio. I'm sorry, not 50 minutes, 50 flights. And that was my cardio, and then I just did a little bit of strength training with that. So there's a lot of things that you can utilize around the house for doing strength training. I use my couch. I can do dips on my couch. I can do push-ups and stuff there. At the end of the day, I mean, when it comes to a lot of working out, you don't need to go to the gym to maintain that strength. If you're trying to build muscle, it's a lot easier, obviously, to go to the gym and have that equipment. But to stay in shape and to make sure that you're getting enough exercise and whatnot isn't really that hard. I have a 9-year-old, and the other day we just turned on some music and had a dance party for half an hour. And of course, he still has plenty of energy afterwards. I'm pouring sweat going, and I'm in good shape, but that kid wears me out. But just, that was awesome because we got to listen to a lot of our favorite music and still move around, get my cardio on. One of the big things I do suggest for strength training is dynamic resistance. So it's something that gets ignored a lot when we're doing workouts because we just think of the traditional crunches or sit-ups or whatever. And for me, just utilizing dynamic resistance to continue, building those muscles and stuff. And that's something that DDP yoga, I'm a DDP yoga instructor, that's something that DDP yoga really focuses on, is that dynamic resistance. So dynamic resistance is when you're moving let's say your arms, you're moving your arms as if you're moving them through clay. So you're putting that resistance on your muscles. So you're acting as if you have the weights in your hand. And when you're pulling them towards you, you're putting that resistance on the muscles. So that way you're still working them. And it's a little bit different than isometrics, because isometrics is when you're holding a static pose. So say you're holding your arms statically. This is you're moving them, but you're moving them with resistance. So that's been really, really just completely invaluable for me, still keeping up my strength training and stuff. I actually have a Facebook page, so if you do subscribe for my newsletter, you get a private invitation, exclusive invitation to my Facebook page. I've been posting workouts and stuff on there. So definitely check that out if you need a little bit of extra motivation. And they're quick workouts, just 5-10 minutes to keep you in the routine of working out. So I post suggestions, different recipes and stuff there. But it's really about being creative. I mean, if you want to stay active right now, you're going to. I always have the goal of getting at least a little bit of the physical aspect of yoga and a little bit of exercise in every day. I try to do cardio and strength training in whatever part of the body I need to work that day. there's a channel for anybody that has kids called Cosmic Kids Yoga. And it's really awesome because, especially for younger kids, like little kids, it gives them different themes, like an underwater theme or a Pokemon theme or whatever, but it moves them through the yoga poses. So I can get my yoga in, my son can get some yoga and some exercise and stuff in. So that's just a really creative way if you have kids and you're trying to get a little bit of extra exercise or whatever in with or without them. My son actually, this is something I haven't really formally announced, so I guess I will announce it. So my son really wanted to make some videos to help other families too. So he's going to be involved in a few of my videos coming up, showing how if you do have access to the park, we're going to do a little bit of workout at the park, different yoga and strength training exercises that even a 9-year-old can do. Of course, he's more flexible than I am and speaks better French than me, for the record. Kids pick stuff up. Kids pick stuff up so fast. And then we're going to be doing kind of a little home workout of how you can incorporate, your kids, your dogs, whatever, into staying active during this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. So I know in addition to this, you have a workshop and class that you're working on. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, it's a lot what I was talking about in the beginning about the happiness spectrum, about meeting people where they are and assessing them. Yeah. It has a lot to do with my journey and where I started, which was rock freaking bottom, and what I did to get out of there. So I walk other people through my journey and my process and how they too can move higher on that happiness spectrum, because my neutral on my happiness spectrum used to be depressed, really depressed. Even on a good day, I still felt depressed. And now my neutral is not blissfully happy, but on the happier side of content. It's not complacency. I feel happy by default, which is something that I never thought was possible. I was told by professionals that I would never heal myself mentally, that I had a disorder and I'd suffer with it till the day I died. And I got decertified as having a serious mental illness by those professionals, which I just wanted to throw a middle finger at them so hard. But I didn't, because, namaste and all that. But the program really just goes through the different changes that are necessary if you really want to move as high as possible on that happiness spectrum, and that'll be coming out at the end of the month. So if you want more information on that or to stay updated, you can check out my website.
Okay, wonderful. And so this has been absolutely fascinating, so thank you so much. With everything that you've done and experienced so far, what would you say has been the best advice that you've ever received?
It was from my dad. It was actually just before my dad passed away in 2005 when he said, "Don't give up hope, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow." And he's right. You don't know. Everything could change, but you can also make everything change. You don't give up hope, because you're going to feel differently tomorrow. My mom telling me actually when I was younger that if you ever feel really genuinely suicidally depressed, you give it 24 hours, because you won't. The intensity of those feelings will go away. And just knowing that no matter what you're going through, the situation will change, and you can have a hand in that, in changing your circumstances, in improving your situation, improving your mind and your body. So don't give up hope, because you never know what'll happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. If the listeners would like to see more about what you're working on, or sign up for your class, or even just get in contact with you, what is the best way they can do those?
By going to my website, www.amandawebsterhealth.com. You can also check me out on Instagram at AmandaWebsterHealth. Like I said, if you sign up for my newsletter, you will get an exclusive invitation to my Facebook group, which is called The Pack. I've always really been connected to wolves. So the people close to me are kind of my pack. I've always thought of them as my pack. So I'm expanding my pack. So anybody that signs up for the newsletter gets exclusive invitation, as well as a cheat sheet on the top 10 nutrients and nutrient deficiencies that affect mental health. And spoiler, most people are deficient and at least several of them. So you get that cheat sheet that includes ways and sources for each of those vitamins, or each of those nutrients. So very important if you're wanting to explore, more of that connection between mental and physical health, that you're paying attention to your body and paying attention to the things you're putting in it and making sure that you're getting enough of what you need to give your body the best fighting chance and your mind the best fighting chance.
Of course. Wonderful. Well, again, Amanda, thank you so much. I will put all of those links in the show notes so people can click right through. But again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and the listeners today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Advance Your Art podcast. If you like this episode, please go into iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button so that every single time I release a new episode, it will go directly to you without even thinking about it. If you're interested in hearing older episodes, please go to advanceyourart.com where you can find the catalog of everything I've done so far, as well as contact information and projects I'm working on. Thank you again, and have a great day.